Ohayou gozaimasu, Mike-san.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
Thank you. For last week, you told us how you start to show your interest in Japanese sword art. Now, I just happened to see last week I was asking you what this certificate is all about. Apparently, you won something in Japan, right?
After the first time I tried the National Convention's Kante contest,
Right.
that's when my teacher, Tanabe Sensei, told me, okay, next time you win,
Okay.
so I will teach you.
Okay.
So then I started to go to Japan more frequently and
To
stay
learn,
longer to
yes,
learn.
yes.
So the convention's only held every 2 or 3 years. So the next one was like, 3 years
Oh,
afterwards.
gee.
So he says it's so easy. Next time you win. I said, yeah, okay.
So you win.
So they had a national convention in Kobe this year.
Okay.
During this time, and that was to celebrate the rebirth of Kobe after the
Oh,
earthquake.
yes.
So that's why they had the convention there. So
This is Heisei Jusan, it means almost 18 years ago.
yes, that was the time of actually 9/11. The time
That year.
that year.
Wow.
I actually was stuck in Japan because I couldn't come back.
This is September 8th.
Yes, I was still
3
in
days.
Japan.
Oh, you couldn't come back because airplane don't
Yeah,
fly.
I actually saw it on TV in Japan.
Really? Now, what's this Japanese says? It looks
Tein.
like a tei.
Tein. So Tein is technically like first place.
Oh,
So-
that's for this Token Hozon Kyokai special terminology.
So for the national Kante contest.
Yes, yes.
So
First prize, huh?
yes, so
Wow.
because technically I'm American.
Yes.
I find that to the Japanese I'm an American, to the American I'm Japanese. It's kind of strange. During this time after the convention was, there was 187 people who entered this particular
Entry
contest. Yes.
197.
And 2 people from the actual Kyokai got second place. They tied for second. I couldn't believe I won. So when I was at the table, they read the answers. It was really hard, and my score, I know it was very low. But they said it was one of the hardest Kante Kai there was. So
Even
when-
the score is low, but the Kante is very difficult one.
yes. So when they said from Beikoku, it got really quiet in the room.
What's going on here?
And then they said my name, but I didn't think I won. So then my friends next to me goes, stand up, you won. So I was like, what? And then, oh my God, so I stood up. And then everybody said, because I asked somebody, other people, they said, they didn't know what to think because they said I look Japanese.
Yes, you're Japanese.
So they were expecting like a Hakujin guy, I guess, you know.
When they come from America.
Right. So it got really weird at that point. But anyway, they applauded, and I had to go up and get the prize. I really wanted to get off that stage. I was so like nervous. So afterwards, it was very strange because people came up and they said, "You're from America?" I said, "Yes, Los Angeles." And I said, "Are you Japanese?" I said, "Yeah, Nikkei Sansei."
Yamasaki.
Yeah. So they're like, "So how did you learn katana?" Then I point to Tanabe Sensei, and then they say, right away, they go, "Oh."
Now I know.
After that, there was like no questions. It was very, very strange.
Of course, a master of the art.
I'm proud of this, not for me. The one time my mother told me that my father was ever really proud of me was when he heard that I won this in Japan. Maybe because partially we can prove that, we're just same as people from Japan for being Nikkeiji, that we really have pride about our culture too. So
Isn't that nice?
when I heard that from my mother, my father would never tell me, but my mother told me.
So before that, Yamasaki-san, have you ever felt that you're Japanese? Where you think, I'm American?
Well, my grandmother always told me never forget that you're Japanese. And my grandmother was an Issei, right? So in that sense, we have always tried to keep
Heritage.
also tradition.
Yes.
So New Year's time, Oshogatsu, we would celebrate Japanese style. We would celebrate Boys' Day, Girls' Day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, very traditional
We ate
family.
mochi, I mean,
Good,
we
good.
tried to basically Japanese.
By the way, where are your grandparents from?
My father's father is from Wakayama.
Okay.
Then my father's mother is from Mieken.
Oh,
Then my mother's father was Shizuoka.
okay.
Then the only samurai side that I know is from my mother's mother, and that's from Fukushima.
Really, Aizu Wakamatsu.
So,
Sad story.
yes, that story.
Well, Mike-san, by the way, what's this? This another
Oh, this
some award?
this was a prize for the third time that I did. The only reason I entered for the third time is because nobody has ever won twice.
Oh, I see.
So, I got second.
That's okay.
And this writing, it was done by my teacher, actually, coincidentally, Tanobe Sensei, because he has such a beautiful hand,
yes,
right?
beautiful writing.
And the tsuba
Yes,
itself
this is another tsuba.
is made by the famous swordsmith Yoshindo Yoshihara. He is a Tokyo living national treasure.
Just a person, it says here, huh?
So,
okay.
And he is very famous. I see him all the time on NHK. In fact, I was on Japanese History Channel with him last year.
Really?
Yes, so that was quite an honor. And he's a very good friend of mine.
I see. Well, okay, after commercial, I would like to have you explain this. I saw your sword, there's a lot that says bizen. Bizen.
Bizen and Bizen.
Osabune. It's a
Ichimonji.
sword, yes, a sword, shouldn't say manufacturer, but sword production
From
prefecture.
Bizen,
Yes,
Bizen province.
yes. And do you know why Bizen is so famous?
Bizen is very famous because they had some of the highest quality swordsmiths and access to high quality iron.
Why Bizen?
That was just the location was just that good.
Really?
So early period, Heian to Kamakura period,
Yes.
the manufacture of high quality Bizen swords was the best, considered in all Japan. Kyoto sword and Bizen sword were the two best during that time.
Really?
Everybody wanted to have those blades.
You know, talk about Bizen, Osabune. I know there's a famous sword used to own by Uesugi Kenshin.
Sanchomo, Ichimonji.
Sanchomo. It's amazing, but maybe after commercial, see if you can explain the Sanchomo in Japanese wording, mountain bird feather.
Feathers.
After commercial,
Sure,
explain that
no
to
problem.
me. Thank you. Mike-san,
Right.
Sanchomo, it's written in Japanese wording, mountain bird feather.
Feathers,
But some people read it Yamatori-ke.
So,
But the real name is Sanchomo.
Oh.
Now I'm so surprised and really impressed that you know that sword.
well, anybody who studies about Japanese swords, it's very hard not to know this sword because
Really?
it's one of the most famous Bizen swords in history. It's also a national treasure, kokoho.
Yes.
But Ichimonji has always been so, the name is popular, but also the hamon, because it's so lively and active.
What's Ichimonji, by the way?
Ichimonji is a school from Bizen.
School.
So on the nakago inside, they would sometimes just put one strike for Ichi. Some people say it means we are number one. Some people say it has an alternate meaning. So we're not quite sure exactly of the true meaning of Ichi for the Ichimonji. But that school, sometimes Ichi and somebody's name, and even the emperor did kikusaku, kotoba, also did kiku ichi. So it's very interesting. The true meaning of that has still have to be verified in that sense.
How interesting.
So the sayagaki here, which is done by my teacher, they literally would explain about the sword, this particular blade, and even the time period,
Kamakura Juki.
Kamakura Chugi, and also how good,
Yes,
the
yes.
deki, and special. So this sword in particular has a very similar
Sanchomo, because I could see the hamon.
Hamon, yes.
Sanchomo's hamon is more obvious.
Yes, but see, this is in a very old polish.
Ah.
So this is very difficult to see unless you have a particular light.
Really?
So in this sense, people can easily appreciate the sword like Sanchimon when it's on display because the hamon is so vivid
Yes.
and very active.
Yes.
And they say that Uesugi Kenshin, really treasured this blade. Also, that sword, Uesugi Kenshin's mounting, doesn't have a tsuba like this because he was such a fierce warlord, they say he didn't need one.
Really? Amazing.
So the fact that I believe that the Sanchamon is possibly up for sale right now,
Yes.
and it's a rare opportunity because a sword of this caliber very rarely comes up for sale.
Someone in Kurashiki, collector, tried to sell.
Yes. I think the original owner passed away, so the family is maybe
decided to
just
give
sell
it up.
yes.
I see.
But they wanted to go to somewhere special, so in that sense. But this sword is one that should be kept, in a museum or something like that for everybody to see it.
So shouldn't be owned by a private person.
I think it should be nice if everybody can enjoy such a sword,
I know. And I heard that the Osabune, the city who crafted this sword, they want to have it back.
I really do hope they can get it because that would be like it's going home, in that sense.
Yes. That's why the people in Osabune, they feel that way. But apparently, the collector asking for $500 million.
I think
Goku.
Goku, right? Unfortunately, that's a big amount of money,
It is.
hopefully with some help from people around the world and
Or
everything.
the community, or the Japanese sword collectors or lovers, everybody help.
I think in this case, it's kind of like anything else. People all around the world should try to help preserve something like this and make it possible for everybody to see. That's why we like working with Token Hakubutsukan because they express to the world the education of Japanese swords.
Right, because if such an artwork owned by only one single individual collector, only his family or her family can appreciate.
Once in a while, if they're a very nice family, they'll lend it to a museum.
Oh, I see.
But then you only have a very short window of viewing it for the public, right? Like, I live here in America, and there's so many great exhibitions that come up in Japan, but I can't go during that time, so I would miss it. Just like I missed the Uesugi Kagekatsu's 33 Best Sword exhibition. It was earlier in the year, and I couldn't go last year. So if the Bizen Museum kept that sword as a permanent display, I can go anytime to view it.
True,
and
that's
anybody
true.
could.
So if they limited the period, that means if you cannot make it, you will miss the chance.
Yes.
I see.
I mean, for me, like, one of my favorite swords is the Katakiriba Sadamune, which is in the Tokyo National Museum. But I was only lucky one time to see it, and after that I can't see it until they decide to put it back out.
So who owns that?
The museum does, but they have
But
to
they don't rotate the
Right.
exhibitions. I see.
So, like us too, we do museum exhibitions. We have a nonprofit which now works with education for young adults, trying to spread Japanese culture and history. But we're doing an exhibition at the Indianapolis Museum of Art this year. But it'll only be up for 5 months. But at least people in that area will at least get a chance to see what real high quality historical Japanese swords and armor look like. Some parts of America are kind of limited, so they don't have a chance as much as like we do in Los Angeles or in other major cities around the U.S. So we want to spread out and kind of show people the greatness of Japan in that sense. And the younger generation, I think, has been overlooked for, I don't know, maybe past 20, 30 years. So people say they don't care anymore about old things.
Yes,
and
yes, yes.
Well, partially it's because they don't know.
Ah, understand. If you don't know, then why show interest, right?
Yeah, they see advertisements and everything about video games
see.
every day. But how often do they understand anything about Japanese armor or history or, you know, like in Japan, they resurrected the game Token Rambu, and then 2 or 3 million girls play this game, and there was a boom for all the museums, and all these people would come, and they would fly from all over Japan to see all these swords because they're in the game. That was fantastic. So it brought a renewed interest among young people. Because even in Japan, they're having trouble with people who want to carry on the hard traditions. Even like sumo wrestling, they all say it's too hard.
Almost non-Japanese sumo wrestlers.
Yes. Well, that's happening not just in sumo wrestling, but even in sword making, any type of traditional arts. People have to come from outside now, foreigners technically. So we want people to learn about Japanese culture the right way, not just from the internet and other people's opinion. You know.
Mike-san, thank you this week. So much interesting thing. I think we still have some sort, that one, to talk about. And next week, give us more story about the sword, your collection, and also your dream of future, how you are going to teach the young Japanese people or American people to learn the Japanese sword art. Thank you so much this week.
Looking forward to
Thank
next
you.
week.